All right, so thanks for joining me. And in today's video, what I want to do is share with you some insight on the benefits to selling vertical spreads over just selling a naked put. So if you're selling a naked put, it's really a cash secured put, but there's a lot of benefits that go along with doing it from a vertical. And one of the reasons we're covering this is because we have an upcoming latest course that is being released here very soon. This is the Options Mastery Verticals course. It's going to be version 2.0. You can take a look at it on our website at Rise, the number 2, Learn, or just go to tradersfly.com, which you probably see the logo here as well. You could go there or link in the description. Go to the website, and what you can do is click right here, this course. It's coming out November 7th. Sale discount promotion is there until November 30th, so don't miss it if you are looking for a sale or promotion. The course is about 42 videos long right now, 18 hours, and you can get a ton of great training when it comes to vertical spreads, business of trading verticals, intro to verticals, if you're brand new to verticals, if you're more advanced to verticals, if you want to look at vertical strategies, if you want to look at examples on verticals. We've got a lot of stuff going on in this one. Anyway, let's kind of take a look at here, just selling naked puts versus selling vertical spreads. So if you're familiar with selling naked puts, you're probably attracted to the premium, and you might be already familiar with that. But selling verticals has some additional advantages. I wouldn't say it's better. Everybody that says, oh, which one's better, one or the other, I'd say there are advantages, and there's some very lucrative or nice advantages to this. So if we look at just selling the put on its own, so here is our put. Okay, this is a risk profile picture. So what it does is, if we sell the put, let's say here, well, what we're going to do is collect this premium of $1,200. Okay, so this is a nice premium, but if the stock goes down to this level, I will get that stock put to me. So I have to have the cash to be able to purchase 100 shares of that stock. So unfortunately, I have to have a lot of capital and put up with it. Now, when you look at this, the direction of this is based on a bullish move. It's a bullish basis. So if it goes up, then I just collect the premium. I don't have to deal with the stock. Now, on the other hand, if it starts heading down or lower, now I've got a problem, because now I'm going to get that stock assigned. Now, that might not be a bad thing, because you might say, hey, I'm trying to pick up 100 shares at this price level. Maybe you'll sell another put later, pick up another 100 shares at a different level, and another 100 shares at another level. But in other words, you're putting up a lot of capital for really a directional bet. Now, what a vertical does, or converting a vertical, which you still do, is you still end up selling kind of the put there, but you end up purchasing a put just a little bit lower, kind of below that level. So what that does is, let's say you're selling something for $300, okay? But then you're buying something for, let's say, $150. Okay, so you're buying this protection. So in total now you make $150 if that stock heads kind of higher, because 300, you sold it, right? You bought it at 150. So you buy at 150, you sell at 300. If that makes more sense to you, do it this way. But really, you're selling the put just like you normally would, but you're buying one also at 150. And the difference between that is 150, right? If this was actually $200, okay, well, now you'd be making $100 possible profit if the stock continued to head higher. But if it continues to head lower, well, could you still get assigned? Sure, you could, but you also, if it keeps going down to zero, well, you don't have that stock risk. You have this extra put now right there, where the most you can lose is at this price level or at 800. In other words, the amount of capital that you need at risk is a lot smaller, and that's the big advantage to doing a vertical over a single put. So let me show you kind of this concept as we go in on the trading panel and platform. And if we go in on, I'm going to go ahead and use CRM as an example. So this is Salesforce. So if I go in and just sell a put, I'm going to try to do 30 days exactly here. Not perfect, but 30 days or so. And if we normally, current stock price is $162. So if I say, okay, well, I'm willing to pick up that stock at about 145. Well, if I sell the put, I get to make $270. Okay, 270 is right there. Okay, so if I sell it, I make 270, but if it pulls back, I get assigned at this level at the 145 strike. So that's a bit of an issue or problem. Now, the thing I can do with a vertical here is, okay, well, I'll still sell the 270, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy either the 180, I could buy the 119 over here, which means the 135 strike or even the 140 strike. So it's 5 points away or 10 points away, depending on how spread out you want to be. Let's say it's 10 points away. Okay, so I can go in and buy this one over here. There we go, buy it, the 135. And now between the difference between this 270 minus 140 gives me about $128 of possible profit if this thing stands still or goes up, in the same way that doing the put is. But here's the awesome part behind it, is that now the most I would risk is $872. So if the stock goes to zero, I'm still only risking $872. With a put, I'm actually risking all that capital that I have at hand. Max loss of 14,230. I mean, I'm buying those shares at 145, right? And then I'm getting a little bit of credit, so that's why my loss is still 14,000. So because the stock could go to zero. Whereas this one, I'm buying that extra put, and now the most I could lose is 872. So talk about the amount of return on capital. If we go in and do a little calculation, so here I can make $128. Let's move this out of the way. $128 on 872. Okay, and that gives me about 14%. Okay, now the other one here on the put, I got to put up about $14,000 of capital, right? So if I look at it, 14,000. Here's the buying power effect, 14,500. Okay, so here what I have to do is say, okay, well, I'm making 270 now on 14,500. Okay, so my percentage here is really, when you look at it, okay, the first one was I'm making $128 on 872. I'm making 14%. This one, I'm making 270 on $14,500. I'm making almost 2%. So 2% versus 14%. Now the difference is the verticals are leveraged, so you do want to be a little careful. You don't want to trade like 14 grand of verticals, maybe only 5 grand of verticals. But the point here is the percentage wise on the return at capital at risk is much better with a vertical. Okay, now there are some trade-offs because you are leveraged, and when the vertical expires, it expires fully, you're dead. Whereas with the stock, you actually own the stock and shares, and chances are the stock won't go to zero. But never here nor there. The vertical, the capital at risk is actually smaller, so you could trade a lot smaller if you wanted to, and that's kind of the beauty behind it. So from a capital standpoint, this is a much more efficient use of capital when you're dealing with verticals. So I just want to show you that kind of the power behind verticals. If you've never done vertical spreads, or if you're just getting started with verticals, there's a lot you could do with them. Yes, there are some disadvantages as well. Like let's say now my theta is only 3.38. Whereas if I just sold the single, I'd have like a 10 theta. And if you only hold it for a week, obviously the one that just selling the naked or selling the naked put on its own would be better from just a theta perspective. But if you take all things into account, yeah, I do reduce my theta a bit. I do reduce my delta a bit. So going from a 19 delta to maybe a 9 delta. But again, the capital at risk is significantly lower, and that's a huge advantage. So these are some of the things we cover when we go in to the vertical course here. I highly encourage you to check it out on our website at tradersfly.com. Check out the verticals course, November 7th. It's launched, released, and we have the sale until November 30th. There's a lot of things that we'll cover. And if you check it out, there's over 18 hours of training, 42 modules, and a lot of trade examples there as well. So thanks for joining me in this video. Hope it helps and gives you some insight to trading vertical spreads, and you learned a little bit something along the way. And just continue to learn, evolve, and keep pushing yourself forward. And there's just many more things to learn. And I hope you join me in the course. The link's going to be in the description below, or you can also check out our website at tradersfly.com.